that, one of the ways is a time and motion study. We might monitor how long does it take us to pack certain goods or to deliver certain products. What is the optimum time in which we can do a certain service? And therefore, are we pricing according to the man hours it takes to deliver that product or service? Think about that. The time we put in, the effort we put in, and what we get out at the end of it. We need to think about that and how can we be more efficient? And to be more efficient, we need to be creative. We need to think of new ways, new systems, new processes, new approaches, new mentalities, which can help us be lean and efficient in our process. Another aspect of innovation is about productivity. If we are creative with the way we work and we innovate in our working process, maybe we can actually produce more in 24 hours or in the time frame, in the week, the month, the year, whatever the time frame is. So by being creative, we become more innovative, and that innovation hopefully leads to more productivity. How in your business are you going to be productive? How in your business are your workers being productive? How are you incentivizing them to become more productive? Is it carrot or stick? Do you threaten them or do you incentivize them? Do you pay them piecemeal, depending on how much they produce in a given time? Equally, if you're a sole trader or you're working for yourself, how do you increase your own productivity? How do you optimize your time? We've all got the same amount of time, 24 hours in a day. How do we utilize that time effectively and efficiently? Maybe we need to be creative. Once upon a time, we may have driven for 2 hours for a meeting with 4 or 5 other people who've also traveled for that meeting. Now we realize we can possibly hold that meeting using Zoom or similar technologies. We're saving time, we're saving money, we're becoming more efficient, we're becoming more productive with our hours in the day. This is where creative thinking and innovation lead to savings, increased productivity, and possibly, just possibly, increased profitability if all comes good. And our creativity as individuals and within an organization or a company can actually help us add value to our product or our service. By thinking creatively, what can we add on as an extra to our service, which A, pleases the customer, and B, differentiates our product or service from others? Whatever we're doing, how do we make our business different? How do we make it stand out? What is its unique selling points? And in order to come up with that, we need to be creative in our thinking. We need to focus, we need to explore, debate, puzzle, wrestle. All sorts of things will need to take place before we formulate those elements that help our business stand out as being different and add value to the person buying our goods or our service. What do they get that is extra that someone else does not offer them in the time frame or for the price frame? It is no good saying to yourself, my product is the same as this company or this person. People are going to measure you against them, and they're going to say, am I getting more from that person? Am I getting more value for money to what they're offering, whether it's a service or a product? What is it that it does or that it gives that makes you stand out as having added value? Finding added value in a business or a product takes time. It's not easy, and it needs creativity and constant innovation. So if you're setting up your business, you're going to need to think, what value can you add to your product or service? If you have an established business or a partnership or a company, what is it that you're offering your clients that actually make you appear to be adding real value, sustained value, meaningful value? And in order to do that, you're going to have to think creatively, because profit margins are always narrow. There are very few industries where the margins are not narrow. So it can be very minute sums involved. So we have to think creatively as to what extras we can offer. I've mentioned on the slide there that innovation is a part of the creative process. And essentially the creative process is driven by two dimensions, two elements, two stimuli: external stimuli and internal stimuli. External could be something like your competitors, the competition in the marketplace. If you are a manufacturer of a product, your potential buyers are going to compare your product or your service with your competitors. They're going to look at price, they're going to look at quality, they're going to look at your terms of reference, and in other words, your delivery time, and whether there's a warranty. All sorts of things will be part of the element. So external stimuli are major drivers of creativity and innovation. The coronavirus is an external stimuli. At the moment, businesses are having to think creatively, and they are having to innovate because of the coronavirus. Maybe they're not able to open at the moment. Maybe they cannot meet their clients face to face. Maybe they can no longer travel from place to place or country to country. So what do? Do they just cease trading, or do they innovate through creativity? And some remarkable examples of innovation and creativity have taken place during this period of emergency. Here in the UK, we have a very famous garment manufacturer called Burberry. Burberry are a luxury brand, a fashion house that make coats and fashion items and apparel wear that go all over the world. And yet during the coronavirus situation, Burberry began manufacturing personal protection equipment for hospitals and medical facilities. They turned their factories over from making coats and garments to making safety garments for hospital and care workers. They used creative thinking and innovation and new and fresh approaches to keep their business going, to keep employing their workers, and to keep being relevant in a changed marketplace. The world market no longer wanted their coats and their jackets and their skirts, but there was an enormous demand for personal protective equipment in the health sector across the entire world. And they recognized that here was an opportunity which, with creativity and innovation and some disruption, of course, enabled them to rise to the challenge. And each of our businesses will be impacted by external stimuli. Now, external stimuli might be you lose your main customer. Imagine you have a major customer that buys from you every month. You've been supplying them for the last 3 years, and suddenly they end their contract. An alarming prospect for any business. But you need to think creatively, you need to think innovatively, because you've got to win new customers and hopefully in time win old customers back. And most importantly of all, ladies and gentlemen, you need to try and retain customers, because winning customers takes time and a lot of money. So you need to invest in innovation to ensure that you retain customers, because that is less time expensive and it is less financially expensive to retain an existing customer than it is to try and win a new customer. So think about external stimuli. What in your business is the external stimuli? What are they? They may be changed government regulations, the economic environment, the desire to open up new markets locally, nationally, internationally, or the need to move to online platforms to do business, whereas before you were dealing with business face to face. If your business grows to a certain extent, it can no longer be quite as personal as it once was, and you're going to need to use technology in a creative and a very innovative way to maintain relationships with clients. So think firstly of external stimuli. How are they driving your business? How might they drive your business if you launch it and in the future? So what is internal stimuli? Well, that's you and me. It's our colleagues. It's our workers. It's our investors. It's those elements that make up the business as we stand now that need to drive the business forward. We come up with ideas, our business partners come up with ideas, possibly investors come up with ideas, and our workforce come up with ideas. Never underestimate the knowledge, the insight of your workforce in any business, because they are interacting with the wider world. They have family, they have friends, they are consumers themselves. Quite often, they can come up with some fantastic ideas, how to save money, how to market more effectively, how to package something more effectively, how to promote a product more innovatively. Try and encourage brainstorming sessions, try to foster elements where you can incentivize people to drive and say all the time, how can we improve? A climate of creativity. We need to think every week, every month, what can we do better? What can I do this month that I didn't do last time? How can I improve? And that internal stimuli starts with each one of us, our desire to be better people. And where does that come from? Does it come from our family, our friends, our community, our religion, our beliefs? What drives us with our ambition to reach higher, to go faster, to go further, to strive even more than we have already? That's internal. and that internal around us in the organization or the company. How do we get ideas flowing? How do we find solutions, turning